Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa bihi nasta'in, wa khairu nasir wa mu'in. So we are happy to have another session here of Islamic lifestyle about family that I was meant to say it a few sessions ago, but now we got the chance to speak about it right now for today. Okay, how are you doing? Great. Any question from last sessions? Yes.
About Imam Jawad. Um, if I'm not wrong, you said that we can ask everything to Imam Jawad related to material things. If Imam Jawad is for asking material things, and then how about the other?
This is the very common question that some people ask, that if you say that like what is the difference between the Ahlul Bayt, all of them, that you, for example, you say you want, for example, A, ask Imam, for example, Imam Hussein. If you want B, ask Imam Hassan, for example. Does it mean that Imam Hussein will give the something that Imam Hassan would not give it? It is not like that. It is that like these Ahlul Bayt will give it more. Not like if you are having a material needs, or like you need a physical in financial problems, that if you ask Amir al-Mu'minin that he wouldn't give you, it is prohibited for him, but it's allowed for Imam Jawad. Imam Jawad in these things will give you more. It means like that. Like it's not so. Each Ahlul Bayt has a specific thing that they would do. Like, for example, if you want to get a revenge from those people who stand against, for example, the God, who those people bother you, you were under oppression, it is better to ask Amir al-Mu'minin, because he was famous of this. Those Ahlul Bayt become famous of anything, they will help you more. It's not like the other Ahlul Bayt will not help you, but these will help you more. And it's like more experienced by the other people who were doing the ibadat, and like the people who were into not other things, just ibadat. So they experienced it. Okay, any other question? Okay, let's go back to our topic. Today's topic will be Islamic lifestyle, family. How is it this? Oh, yeah. As you might know, family is everything. Not like you're saying in emotional things. No, I'm not saying that, because it's a small society. Whatever you do, like teaching, treating people, how to live with other people's, all of these it's in a family. For example, if you want to make another family for yourself, you're in a right age to marry, so you can have another experience with your family, that how is it going to be. If you want to live in a society, family is a small society. If you want to learn, if you want to go to school, if you want to do other things, family is a small school. So when you look at family is the smaller place of the society, the school, or other things. So that's why we call it family is the central. Okay, family holds a central sacred position in Islamic lifestyle. It is also considered the building block of society and the nucleus of Islamic values. If you want to value yourself, if you want to increase your values, and if you want to get reach to God, if you want to get closer to God, the easiest way is the family. Why? Because in Islam, it's if you help the other people, someone has a need, if you help them, you get closer to the God. This is mentioned in Islam. So the easiest way, the closest way is the family, to helping, to getting their hands. So the easiest one, the closest one, it will be family. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to see in your life will be your family. And they will give you the experience without asking you to give them anything. like your parents, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sisters, if you have, or other people like around in your family. You can get their experience. If you want to learn from them, if you want to ask something from them to do you a favor, it's easier than the other people's. Like if you want to do something, it will be easier for you to ask your family than like someone like me that you don't know, for example. So family will be everything because it's a smaller society and life. When we say the family, the starting of the family will be what? Marriage. How the family will start is the marriage. Like we say, Islam emphasizes the importance of marriage and encourage Muslims to establish strong and stable family units. Like this riwayah you've heard it a lot, ما بني بناء في الإسلام أحب إلى الله عز وجل من التزويج, or like النكاح السنتي. This is very common, that the greatest thing that close to this, that God loves it a lot, is marriage. Why marriage? It is the thing that God loves more than the other things. Do you have any answer for that? Yeah.
Because it is the building blocks of society, and it creates a good marriage. It creates stable families, healthy families, and a Muslim society that has that prevalent will have a very powerful position in this world, and will be able to withstand the attacks from outside. That's one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah, that's the one of the biggest reasons that you mentioned. Yeah, as he mentioned, this is one of them, and marriage will bring it to you. And another thing in Islam that is not haram, but is also said that do not get close to it, it's divorce. As much as God likes marriage, he hates the divorce, even more than the marriage. That the balance of how much he loves, he hates more than that, the divorce. In Islam, it is really recommended that we try not to get divorced, and divorce should be the last option. And Imam Sadiq, there is in Usul al-Kafi, ما من شيء مما أهله الله عز وجل أبغض إليه من الطلاق. God made it halal, but the thing that God really hates it from being halal, it's divorce. Why is it? Why didn't God make it haram? Because we need a solution. Maybe we have a problem in family. We need a divorce. So what is the solution? Like, for example, imagine that a wife or a husband, they are cheating. Cheating, I mean, like, they're not really into their family. They're doing whatever they want. They like to do something that the family doesn't like it, like the husband doesn't like it or the wife doesn't like it. So imagine that. What can we do? So the first solution would be like speaking, trying to fix it and all other things. The last solution will be divorce. For example, the wife would say, I don't like this guy. And the husband would say, after a year, I found out that I hate her. For many things, it can be, but I hate her. And she says, I hate him. So what is the solution? The last one is the divorce. Another thing, like we can mention for the talaq, it is that maybe the husband is like hurting the wife is hurting the husband. All of these things that when you comes to your mind, you will see that you need a solution for all of those things. Without the solution, you have nothing. So it is better to have a solution. That solution will be divorce, but it is the last one. So the reasons for the marriage and making family that you already mentioned, we're just gonna take a look at all of those things. Making family has many reasons in Islam, but we will just take a look at some of the important ones, like being in a peace and having a calm life together. like, the things that they're saying, like the men or women, they're not really into becoming calm, like focusing on their life. Just like in Persian, they say like they're just looking around. They're not focusing on something. There is a life. The marriage will make you to focus on the life. You have a purpose for the life. And you will not be like a lost person. So you know something, that what you want to do, what is the valuable things for you, and you have a target for your life. This is one of the things. Another one is for continuing the human being generation. So if there is no marriage, the human being generation will be stopped. No kids anymore. Another one is for the human needs. Includes everything. Like if you want to help, if you want to be like someone together to be stronger, to support each other, will be something like that, and other needs that everyone knows, like so it will be the needs, all of them. So these three reasons for a marriage will be enough for us to consider it as the greatest thing to start. So as you know, that even it is mentioned that if someone marry and will sleep without doing anything, like sleeping, in God's opinion, in God's thought, he has a higher level than a person who's standing awake all the night and praying to the God. So this is how the marriage is valuable. If you are married and you pray, the prayer will be 70 times with more reward, with the sawab, 70 more times if you are married. And it's like if you want to complete your religion, it is said that half of your religion will be the marriage. This is the importance of marriage because of one of these things, and one he mentioned, and many other things that maybe will come to your minds, and you can just search for it and ask for the other people. Well, the main one is this. The other thing is, if you see the married people, they will not waste their time. Most of these people coming out, doing some crazy things, not focusing on the life, not focusing on the studies, they don't focus on the jobs. Just saying most of them, not saying all of them. They're not married. They don't have any life. They are free at all. So they'll waste it. They'll waste their time. They'll look for something that is not really important. Sometimes it will be, maybe it will be haram. Sometimes it will be halal. It's not saying it all of the time, but it will show that the marriage will bring you to a better position. And also, when you are married, the thing that will give you, one of it is that the people will respect you more. It is like that you are grown up. You have grown up. So this is another thing that marriage brings to you. Okay. One another thing in the marriage, we just go through this. First, we started with how the family is important. Then it will be marriage, divorce. And when you are married, the important thing is respecting each other. The husband to the wife, wife to the husband. Now we'll a little bit talk about here that one of the importance of the marriage is respecting each other is the highly asked in Islam. Respect means having a good morality and being your good version to each other. Nowadays, like many like communities, many people have groups. They're just speaking about the family, but the problem is they're reminding the men that what is your wife duty. You're reminding the husband that what is your wife duty, and reminding to the wife what is your husband duty. So no one knows their own duties. They know the other one. So when the, for example, the husband goes to the house, he's just waiting and looking for the wife's duties and checking on her. And also same as the wife, just looking at her husband's duties. So none of them doing their own duties. They're just looking for each other to do something else. One of the duties is for example, the men's, as you like, it's respecting their wife. Do not humiliating their wife in society in general, in like in public. One of these are that. One another is to always be happy when you go to your house. Do not like bother your wife and other things like that. And in return back to the wife, it is like obeying your husband and do not disobey them, especially in public. One thing that it is in men, I don't know about this new young generation, but the real men who always like, you know, like if you see even in the animals, like the male one, they always like to have the power. This is what the men's like, to have the power. So it is like that. Do not take their power down. You're getting everything from the men's. So this is for the women's respect. So women are more emotional, sensitive, like what is it called? Like all of these things. But the men's looking for the power, looking for something to give them, show them like a brave, show them like someone who's great, someone who is supporting the family, has everything under control. So if you get the emotions from the women, they will be empty. If you get the power and being brave and other things from the power from the men's, there will be nothing. So instead of getting these things from them, have their own job. Do what is mentioned for you, and you are better than in that. For example, you know, women can do different things in the same time. That is impossible for men. For example, it is mentioned that they are talking to the phone. They also can carry the baby and also cooking. This is what the women can do, but none of the men can do it. It's obviously impossible for men. Even if they tell you to do something, the men will forget it. So it is better for them to women do it. If they can do it, so God gave them. Like you never see a woman go to a manhole to like clean it or fix it, or like go into the skies, like big buildings, like cleaning sky, big buildings and other things that is very difficult jobs. So you see the men would do it because it's just like made for men. So it's better for men to do it, not like expecting women to go over do that. Or like working, bringing heavy things. It is in the power of the men's, not really in the women's power. So it is better for them to do the things that they know. For example, imagine this center. You see everyone has their own job. If I come and tell Mr. Eddie to do another person's job, he might be failed. And if I ask that person to do Mr. Eddie's job, he will fail. Why is that? Because they are expert in the things. So it is better to put everything in the right place. For example, Mr. Eddie knows the computers. It's not right if I ask them to, for example, clean this place. Do the computer things as a job. Or I bring a cleaner that has no knowledge. I tell them now sit in behind Mr. Eddie's computer and do whatever it is like. Even that person cannot turn on the computer. So everything should be in the right place. Then you will get more things that you want to get. Men should be in their own place. Women should be their own place. If you get the place, there's not just only the family, also the society will be collapsed. So one riwayah from Amir al-Mu'minin is Fadaraha ala kulli halin, means be good, just come whatever she says, be nice to your women, whatever it takes, whatever she's in a mood, all the things. وأحسن الصحبة لها فيصف عيشك. If you want to have a good life, be good to your wife. Good wife, having a fun family, having a happy family, then you have a happy life. Another riwayah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it says, "Inna lil-rajula haqqan ala imra'atihi." There is a haqq, like there is a right from the husband to the wife. The wife should do that. إذا دعاها ترضيه وإذا أمرها لا تأسيه. Whatever I asked from my wife, it is better for when my wife says, I'm okay with that. I accept it. وإذا أمرها, if I ordered something to my wife, the wife should not disobey that. But this is like, if you just want to say, it is in something that is not against the Islamic rules. For example, if a husband says, like, drink wine, or rob a bank, or I don't know, all the haram things, stop praying to the God, this will be haram. This is not allowed to be obeyed. So wajib and haram is not like the things that in humans' power. So this is what the Prophet and the Amir al-Mu'minin says, like, we have many riwayats that about wife and husbands, how to treat them, each other, how to be good to each other, speak nicely to each other, and hide their anger, whatever it takes. And another things that's in a hide their anger and other things, it is tell each other what is your problem in a better way that you can speak to each other. As you mentioned in riwayats that you speak. This is better for you to speak. I have a problem with my wife. I have some questions why she's doing that. Oh, I don't want she do that. It's better for me to tell her. She's not a prophet or Ahlul Bayt that cannot understand it from my brain. And also for the wife, if she has a problem, it's in Riwayah that ask your husband. Tell her. Tell him that you have this problem, you want to do that, and you don't want to do that. It will be the things that is great for you than fighting with each other and going out and just wasting your time. Okay. Another one is having children. You know that having a children is also good for you in this world and also is good for you in another world. It benefits you for this world and benefits you for another world. It is also said if you have a kid, if you have a children, if the children ask for forgiveness for the parents, ask that God forgive them for their sins, it's not like something happened, like just praying for your father, praying for your mother, that they were good to me, please God for help them and give them the heaven, the Jannah. This a child can do it for the parents, and God will accept it from the child. Another one is, is Bagiyat Salihat, is that when you are going to pass away, you have a kid that will continue the good part of being good. God will reward you by that. Like if the kids do anything good, you are like completing that kids as well. So not only for this world, also having kids will benefits people in other world, but children have rights. It is mentioned just in Quran and Hadith. One of them is do not kill them. You might be wondering like who would kill them. Mostly it is when they are in your belly. Like when they're just carrying the baby, do not kill it. Nowadays, very common that people kill the portion, yeah. So better to keep them alive. And another one that was very common in back then in South, like in Arabian regime, that they were killing the girls because they believed that the girls are not really important. Like the prophet, when the prophet came, he said to stop it. And he just brought many riwayat from the God, was the hadith was that keep the baby, the girls alive. The girls are good for the family, for the house, and all that you've heard a lot about. So first one is not kill them. Another one is physical and spiritual support. When we say physical, because in all of this has many riwayats and ayah, so it will take very too much if I want to bring it all of it. But physical, we mean just like financial support. One is it. Another one in Quran is mentioned is like feeding them when they are born and continuing. It's better for you to feed them. So this is the physical one. Spiritual support will be like, do not humiliate your child, like encourage them, make them to be proud of themselves, and other things that will be spiritual things. Guiding them means help them to know the Islam, the true Islam, know about the Ahlul Bayt, knowing about the Prophet, knowing about how it's valuable to being, for example, in morality things like being a good person and other things. Another one is teaching Ahkam and Quran from their childhood till they are grown up. There's also, a hadith. Also, there is a book, it is said like Risalatul Hugha Imam Sajjad, if you have heard of it. This also, we can see some of that in like what are rights of the children for the parents. Choosing good names for them. Like we have a riwayat of Amir al-Mu'minin, like 3 things are mentioned for the parents. One of the things that is mentioned that parents should do is haqqul walad ala al-walid. It is one of them having a good name, choosing a good name for your child. You might have like you've gone to some places and you'll see like they'll say my child name is, for example, A, and you don't know that child, is it like a boy or is it a girl? Like you just confused. Okay, that's nice name, but what is he or she? Like you confused. What kind of name is that? And you are really ashamed to ask them that. Why would you choose this name? That none of the other religions, none of the other any sects, not human being would choose this name. Why would you choose it? That for being sure that this is a guy or this is a boy or this is a girl that I have to ask you. Why should I call it like he or she? This is not really nice. One riwayah we have that this is because when you go to another world, when you go to the Qiyamah, when the Ma'ads come over there, everything will go to the right place. For example, I like a very weird name, and it's not really nice, but I like it. But when I go to the Qiyamah, my body will decide in a good, like the right way. So will I ask my parents, my family, that why he chose a weird name for me? This is one of the questions that child will ask the parents in the Qiyamah. It's mentioned in the Riwayat. That one of the questions that the child will ask is the name. Why you named me by that? We have many riwayats to name your kids, and we have many riwayats of the naming the kids, how we can name them. It's better to name them this way and other ways. So naming is very important. One of them is very important. Like you see, even the Ahlul Bayt, and you see them, all of the names is the God's attributes. For example, Ali is the name of the God. It's one of the God's attributes, being Allah, or being up. Jawad, that we mentioned, is one of the God's attributes. It was chosen by the God's attributes. Another one is teaching them how to be polite. That's very important. Like you go out, you see the kids have no morality, they have no respect to other people. So it's better to them to not be like telling them whatever you do is all right. No, whatever you do is not all right. Do not hurting them, do not beat them. Like this is prohibited in Islam. Having justice between the children and etc. Like if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, make a justice between them. There was someone came to the prophets and he had 2 kids and he was playing with the younger kid. The prophet asked him, why are you doing that? Why are you not saying that you have another kid? Another kid was older, but why are you playing with the younger? The man responded that, oh, because this is the younger one. That's why I'm playing with that. That's why I want to have a game with this one, because it's younger. The prophet said, but the older one is watching you. Who might think that it's not like because this kid is younger, will think that you love him more than him. So have a justice between them. If you're buying clothes, if you're buying anything for this kid, buy another thing for that one. Do not show them that you love someone. It's obviously that all parents love one of the kids more than the others. So, but you have the experience, right? But do not show it. It's not really good to show that. Sometimes to hide some reality, it's better than to show it. Okay. Another one is respecting the parents. We have time to speak about it. Okay. The greatest thing in Islam is respecting the parents, father and the mother. Look, if you want to see how this is very important, you will see this ayah in Surah Isra. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. وَقَضَى means God forced you. God make it wajib, more than wajib. It's the first thing that is God has mentioned and ask you is this, that you have to do the ibadah to him, to the God. That you have to pray to the God. You have the tawheed, you have to the and praying to the God. All of this will the ta'abudu ibadat to the God. This is qadha. You will not see all the word qadha. It means the higher level of saying that is wajib, and you have to do it. So God says how this is important, that God says وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ, that you have to pray to the God, the tawheed, and all other things. What all God wrote next to it is وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. The praying to the God is the greatest thing that God is asking you. After that, God is asking for the وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, that you have to be a good person to your parents. So mostly people, when they want to bring this ayah, they will say just only بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. When you want to show how important this بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا is, to show that before the ayah, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. God is talking about himself, and after that is talking about respecting the family. And after that, مَا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا. One of them was growing up, getting older, or both of them. فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Someone came to Imam Sadiq and asked, what does this off means in Quran? We don't have any translate for that. Imam Sadiq responded to him, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ means the smallest thing that comes to your mind. Like people translated what, like some people say oof, something like that. Just like denying your parents. The smallest thing that comes to your mind, God says, do not call them like that. Do not say it to them. وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. Speak in a very polite way. Speak in a respecting way. It's very important that it comes وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. This is the thing that shows وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So when you most people, most like if you in social media, in the books, the schools, when they want to teach somebody, they will just bring this ayah in this part, like "Wabal walidain ihsana." They'll just say this, that how important, but the importance will be shown if you say وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. If you want to see how is important to respect your parents, you will see that God is talking about himself, that how is important to him to have the tawheed, have the praying to him, and after that he's talking about the parents. He's asking for you to obeying them, to not denying them. Okay, respecting the parents has many benefits. One of the benefits will be that you're going to have a longer life. Someone came to Imam Sadiq and said to him that my father is cursing you, insulting you, and your family until the Prophet. He's insulting the Islam. He is a pagan. Not only pagan, he's a Nasibi. He's doing anything that is value to be killed. Imam Sadiq told him, no, you should not kill him because he's your father. He said, no, the Islam says kill him and I want to kill him. Imam Sadiq told him, no, he cursed the Islam, he cursed, God knows how to destroy him, but it's not your job to do it because you are his child. You have to respect him. And if you kill your father, you won't have you will have a short life. You'll die soon. He said, I don't care. Now important for me is that he's insulting Islam. He went and killed his father. They came to Imam Sadiq 6 months later that they said he's died. He passed away. The person who killed his father, in 6 months he died. This is the short life. It doesn't matter that your father is a pagan, your father is against you, the father is against the God, the father is against the Ahlul Bayt, the father is against Islam. It is important that you have to respect him. Like, you know, if your parents asking you to not go to, for example, Majalis Ahlul Bayt, Majalis Ahlul Bayt is mustahab. If they're asking you, it is better for you to not go there. Maybe you can convince them that I want to go, it will be that, making sure ensure them that will be okay, nothing going to happen, that'll be all right. But disobeying, like saying, no, I don't care about what you said, this is haram. So this is the greatest. One of them is having a longer life, if you respect your parents. Another one, that if you want to have a sawab, it is mentioned by the Prophet that if you want to have a sawab, look at Wanzur ila, was it I forgot it, but not the meaning was like, if you wanted to have do the sawab, it's better for you to look in your parents' face with a smile. They will give you a sawab. One of the people will ask the Prophet if it's going to happen a lot, like 100 times, more than 100 times. Prophet said, God will give you more than 100 sawab. If you're looking at, with a smile, just only smile to your parents' face. This is another one, that's looking with a smile. Another one, we have a riwayah from Imam Sadiq that is mentioned that when you want to treat your parents, your father, your mother, it is better to look like al-abd, like a slave. Like when people are looking at you, it's better for them to know that you are a slave. Do not make a difference between a slave or a child. Like what, you know, the abd will be like standing very politely, we're looking down, not speaking of himself. This is the respect of a child to the parents. So looking like al-abd is mentioned by Islam, by Imam Sadiq. Another one is if you want to have a more rizq, in your life. You know, we mentioned like a few sessions ago that rizq means everything. Rizq can means going to Hajj, means that's a rizq. Having money, that's a rizq. Longer life, that will be rizq. Being healthy is a rizq. All of this is a rizq and comes from the God. If you want to have more rizq in your life, maybe like being more healthy, maybe having your money, the marriage is rizq. If you want all of these things, it's better for you to treat your family, your parents in a nice way. So being nice to parents has this one. Another one is God will forgive your sins. All of this has many riwayats. If I just want to bring it, it will take many sessions. If I just want to talk about how valuable is respecting the parents are. God will forgive your sins, as mentioned in riwayats. Another riwayah, it's in Imam Sadiq says, "Man ahab an yakhfaf Allah anhu sakarat al-maut." You know, when you die, there will be problems, there will be difficulties in the death. Like the Nakir al-Munkar, like that you are scared that your grave will become closer to each other to have the azab and all other things that will happen in your grave when you're gonna die. So whoever wants and likes that God's help him when he dies and will be without any difficulties and a problem, فَلْيَكُنْ بِوَالِدَيْهِ بَارًّا. Be with your parents a good person. Respect them. Someone came to the Prophet, I want to go to the jihad, I want to fight for Islam. Prophet started to talk to him that it says, okay, there will be this reward will God give you, what will happen if you even will be killed in the battle, you will not be killed, you will remain as a live person, you will be continuing your life and all of the things. After that, he said that, but if I go to the jihad and if I go to the battle, this show that it's not wajib battle. It wasn't the wajib one. He said, but my parents did not agree with me. They don't want me to go to the jihad right now. Prophet told him that go back to your family, that's more than the jihad. Because, you know, when it becomes wajib or necessary, no one can stop you. Because it's the God is mentioned for you to do it right now. So no one can have the power beyond the God. Neither your parents nor prophets will be the God's order. So this shows that it wasn't a wajib jihad. It wasn't just a jihad. Prophet told him to go back to your house and stay with your family. That's better than the jihad. Here I want to mention another riwayah. We have still time. You know, and you have heard that we have some riwayah that is mentioned in Shia and Ahl Sunnah. That says, Prophet says, what? Ana wa Ali ababa hazihi al-ummah. In some riwayats came that Prophet said, God has cursed someone who doesn't belong himself to his father. And one of the companions asked the Prophet, who has did that? Like who has just said, I'm not belonging to my father? Then Prophet said, Ana wa Ali ababa hazihi al-ummah. Some of the riwayah has this before, and some of them they don't have it. So the main one that we want to see is Ali wa ana wa Ali ababa hazihi al-ummah. So you know, someone will come that says that my father is the president, my father is the king, my father is the director of that place, my father is the CEO, and all other things. And like, this is a great value that God gave to the Muslims. That Prophet came and said, Ana wa Ali ababa. When you want to say that, who's my father? You can say the Prophet. You can say that Ali ibn Abi Talib, Amir al-Mu'mineen is my father. This is a great value. So whenever you want to see a person on the street outside him. So, you know, if that person is the son of, for example, the president, you will treat him very well. Imagine that Prophet and Amir al-Mu'minin said, this is my kid. How would you treat them? Like you're in a traffic, you're getting out of your mind, you're getting mad. And better to remember that all of these people are mentioned in a riwayat that their father is the Prophet and Amir al-Mu'minin. Non-humans can get this value to be a child of the greatest human being that ever created on earth. The most value creation. If you just look, all the creation of the God, the angels, all the things that he created, the greatest one is the Prophet and Amir al-Mu'minin and his family. Is valuing war, like, you know, in Quran says, like when you say minnat, just giving you something that you don't deserve it, is beyond you. You don't deserve it. It's not in your side to have that thing. So we'll give it because of our mercy. This is a minnat to the people. Like the minnat came another place in like the Karbala when Imam Hussein asked for the water for Ali Asghar. He said, Munnu ala ibn Rasul. It was a great word to ask. Like, it's okay. Bring something that I don't deserve it. Okay, bring that water for my kid. So this is a minnat for the humans, the Muslims, that ana wa Ali ababa hadhihi al-ummah. Like whoever hear this will know that how valuable is that. Like if you know that who's the Prophet, if you know who's the Amir al-Mu'minin, you will know how the valuable is that you say that your father is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Like you say, my father is Elon Musk, that he's a rich person. My father is, for example, the president of United States. He's the most powerful person on this earth. Someone says, my father is Amir al-Mu'minin, is the Prophet, who has the power of all the creation. Even the angels will obey them. How is that valuable? If we can understand only this riwayat, there will be enough for us till we die. Like there was a king in Iran. He said he made a poem for himself that if you're the person who's going to ask for forgiveness from do the shafa'at in the qiyamah for you is Ali ibn Abi Talib and his family, don't worry, do the sins, commit any sins that you want, because they are very valuable. He slept. He dreamed in his sleep that Amir al-Mu'minin is saying, change your poem, that if you believe the shafi' and the person is going to do the shafa'at for you in the qiyamah on who has the power for you is Ali ibn Abi Talib, stop committing any sins. Be ashamed to commit any sins if you know who's Ali ibn Abi Talib. So only this riwayah, so some of the the tafsir of Quran that becomes to translate it by the ahadith, the specific ahadith, they translate this ayah that Fabal Walidain Ihsana, they say that Walidain is a Prophet and Amir al-Mu'minin. That Ihsan is respecting the Prophet and his family. It is that to know that who are they and whatever they say, you accept it and try and get closer to them. Be a good son to them, be a good daughter to them. So this is the riwayat that is, I think, and I believe it's the greatest riwayat among all of the riwayats. Everyone has some favorite riwayats, but in my opinion, this is the greatest one. When you read it, when you hear it, that my father is Amir al-Mu'minin, you will be so proud of yourself that what I have done, that I have to deserve to be his son or his daughter. Okay, another one is Salatul Rahim. we just out of the time, I'll just read it and not like explain it. It is considered as wajib, Salatul Rahim is wajib in Islam. And if you stop and abandon to see your family is haram, even if that family are not good people. So it is haram to stop Salatul Rahim. And it has some good effects on your life and afterlife, like you will have a longer life, more rest, God will take easy on you, and many other things. That it's better to have the Salatul Rahim. It has many sawab. Okay, I wanted to explain it this, but I think that's enough. Before we finished, I would also again remind you to think. If you don't want to think of all other things, it's okay, but think of this riwayah, وَأَنَا وَعَلِيَ بَابَ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ. And before to know that, read about, or maybe we'll talk about it maybe in our Islamic thought, that who is Prophet and who is the Amir al-Mu'mineen. Then you will know who is mentioned to be your father. Then you will understand the value. So yeah, think, it is said that thinking has higher sawab than praying, because one like thinking of the God and his creation and all of things has like 700,000 praying time, more valuable than that. Some riwayah says 70, 17, 7 sometimes. It's different, but it's like we mentioned, higher position than just praying, because thinking will bring you the light, will guide you. If you know who is the God, then you will not say that it is too much for me to pray 5 times a day. If you know who is the Amir al-Mu'mineen, you will know that who is going to be your father. If you know who is the Prophet, who is the Amir al-Mu'mineen, who is the Fatima al-Zahra, you'll choose your way. It's better for you to think than just following blind. Okay, I think we just spoke a little more than the other sessions. Thank you very much for coming. If anyone has any questions, I will be glad to hear it. If I could answer, I will answer. If I couldn't, I will say no, I can't. Yeah.
I had also in our class in Zoom, we have a question for this topic. You can open the meeting and speak directly to the student. Problem about relation between child and parents, between wife and husband, and yeah, actually it is high. It has a high relation with our daily life.
Sounds like Shia husband or Sunni wife, a different mazhab. Can we work together?
Work or marry?
Yeah, in marriage.
In marriage, it's different. It's different between the ulama, but for Islam, it's acceptable. They say it's not allowed to marry to the kafir. Kafir means someone who doesn't believe in any religion, and the religion in Islam is considered as, this religion has a book, like Christianity, Judaism. These are the religions: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. There are these 3 that I think it's the majority that they have. They only have the books from the God, so you are allowed to marry them. But in how you can marry, in what way you can marry even the other religions, it's different with the ulama. They bring the different ahadith and they will speak about it. You can check on your marja.
In terms of Silat Rahim, we know that most people would know that it is wajib, especially towards your siblings and your parents, right? Maybe even the grandparents. However, when it comes to your uncles and aunts, your cousins, how are they? They should also be important, but does visiting them also become wajib, or is it, especially when they live so far away?
It is not say, you know, the Salatul Rahim is the relative. So whoever considers a relative, like your uncle is absolutely relative to you, or your aunts, or your grandparents. But it is not mentioned in the riwayats that how it's better to have more Salatul Rahim. But the thing that a riwayah mentioned is just abandoning to go into them. Like, I don't want to go. This is different with the, like, I don't have time, maybe, or I'm far away. This is something different. Like, I'm not talking to you. When they call, one of the things is Salatul Rahim is just calling them. Or just having video call.
Sometimes we have so many family members we lost track of the number.
Yeah, it's just like abandoning is different with like not contacting them. Like abandon, like it's very obvious.
Completely cutting off
Yeah,
relations.
cutting off the relation. I don't know who you are, and I don't want to be with you.
No.
This is very different than like calling them in a very long time. So I think we don't have any other questions, right, Mr. Eddie?
That's it.
Okay, if anyone has a question, maybe we'll make it for another session. Was scared that maybe we're not gonna have this topic. I was always wanted to tell this riwayat and speak a little bit about it, but because of the limitation time, I couldn't speak more than about this riwayat and about Ali Abu Waz al-Ummat and other riwayats around it. Because in few weeks later, we're gonna have the Muharram and Eid al-Qadir, and the things is gonna happen. This session, it will be the last session of Islamic lifestyle. And the next Tuesday, next Thursday will be about Islamic thoughts. Like both of the sessions will, because we wanted to finish the Islamic thoughts, all of it, like the Ma'ad and Imamat. So the next 3 sessions, Tuesday, Thursday, and another Tuesday, will finish the Islamic thought. And after that, we'll be going to go through Eid al-Qadir and Muharram. And not only like maybe you guys have work, and I also have like speech that I have to make. So sorry, but we have done many Islamic lifestyle sessions. So this will be the last one. I'm really glad that the last one was the best one. So before we finish, just again, I want to recommend that if you want to know what is the family, what is the greatest value of parents, what does father means, remember that Amir al-Mu'minin considered himself as the father of
The nation.
the Islamic nation. This show how the father is important. If you want to know how is valuable to have how is mother valuable in Islam, remember that in some riwayat, Hazrat Zahra is mentioned as a mother. So I wanted to speak a little more about the mothers, but we will just, in the Islamic thought, we will speak a little bit about the Islamic lifestyle as well. So it'll be better. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Hope you're gonna have a very wonderful weekend and you're gonna have a wonderful Laylatul Jum'ah, like a night before the Jum'ah. It's the greatest night. I wish I could speak more about it, but you know more than me. Thank you very much for coming. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Anyways, see you later. Is there any one way?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Come on.
Then